welcome back to Knitting in Our Jeans. I'm Liz.
I'm Carolyn.
And on Instagram and Ravelry, you can find me as Toolizzforyou, Toolizzforyou.
And I'm CPREDMOR on Ravelry, and I posted a couple times this week as Knitting in Our Jeans. You saw a picture of Richard decorating the tree. I decorated that tree by myself for many years, and then with Elizabeth for many years, and he never had the joy of decorating the tree.
He never wanted to be part of it.
No.
Until the last few years. Until we stopped putting it up. And then
Then he wanted it.
Yeah.
So this year he and Elizabeth put up the tree.
He put up the tree. I lit the tree.
Okay. And then he decorated.
Which is
with
very
some help from me.
Because you had been saying that he wanted to wait for me, and I was like, well, he didn't say anything when I was here last weekend.
He thinks you'll get it through osmosis.
I won't. I will keep sitting and knitting.
He thinks you will. So anyway, we got it decorated. I helped him. He says, anytime you want to jump in. So I helped him. And then I'm done. It's like, we don't have them all on, but that's fine. So
I noticed there's a whole lot that's just strewn about.
Yes, we're going to put those back in a bag and put them away because we're done for this year. So you can throw the rest away? I went, no. But that's he wants to do it. He wants me to do it. And then he can enjoy it.
Yes.
And appreciate it.
Yes.
And I'm like,
he doesn't understand the amount of effort that goes into making it a full and tapped tree.
Well, not this year. My knee will give out. So the knee is doing better. I obviously need to be doing more with it so that it will grow stronger. That's on me. But I'll get there. I will definitely get there. We took out one level of supports from the sofa. So I'm actually moving around more since I'm not stuck up there on the sofa, which is nice, which is good. And so I have been posting. So I posted that, and then I posted a picture of the thing I finished. Mm-hmm. So that's good.
Thank goodness she knew she was getting it. Because she does follow us.
She picked the pattern.
I know. It's just funny.
Well, she picked the pattern. If she didn't know about it, that would be one thing. But she picked the pattern. So anyway, I'll show you all. I finished the Rivel for my niece. And there it is.
It turned out really well.
Whoops. Oh, what happened there? Okay. Backing up.
Oh, good.
Nope. Oh, and my other niece got her pants.
Your great niece.
My great niece got her pants. So anyway, that's the Rivel. And she will be getting it on Monday. We have sent it via the U.S. Postal Service. And apparently Richard paid for tracking. So he has tracked it all the way to Virginia, and she should be getting it tomorrow.
That's good.
Which is great. So I finished.
Considering today's her birthday.
Yes. I send her an e-card.
Because I'm
not going to the card store.
I sent a text,
So I have that e-card app.
You do. You love that e-card app.
I do. I really do. And I sent an e-card to your
other niece.
Yes. And she responded. So I know that went through. It's a simple app. Does it have the best cards? No. One of the actual card companies has an app, but you have to send it by email. Mm. And, sometimes you're just not reading your email, but a text you always look at. So I did finish that, and I'm quite pleased with myself.
I can tell.
Yes.
I can tell. I also finished something this week.
What did you finish?
I finished my gnome.
Oh, he's so cute!
So
That's
he was a big hit at the office party. So he will be sent off to my coworker who won him in our Pollyanna kind of situation that we had. So yeah,
it was so Secret cute. Santa name pulling, or
we all picked different numbers, and you could either pick a new number or you could pick something that someone else had picked. Mm-hmm. So yeah, so. He's going off to a coworker.
He looks very cute.
He is very cute. I'm very pleased with him. And I realized, I think that fluff came from my apartment.
No, I bought that.
Then I don't know what happened to my fluff.
I don't know, but I went to Joann's and bought that fluff.
Well, because I know I brought fluff over here at some point, too.
Well, I can't help you, but I went and bought that fluff.
Well, then...
I don't know, dear. Look under your bed.
No, it's not there, Mom. I've checked.
Here?
Here? Mm. Who the heck knows here?
All right.
But
so that's my fluff, because I went and bought it. Good try.
Well, you might have some fluff missing.
Well, you can borrow fluff.
Yes.
But you can't take the whole thing.
That's fine.
Because I bought that after I had to use real wool for the whale.
I definitely brought some, like a bag like that size over here, so. But yeah, I don't know.
Anyway.
So yeah, so I finished him.
Of course, I lost my whale, but.
He's somewhere around
somewhere.
here.
We'll find him.
Yeah. So I finished him, and I finished my other pair of vanilla reversed socks.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually have all four, well, 2 halves, and then my 2 finished pairs that I've done. So I've done this pattern in DK weight and in fingering weight. These fingering weight ones are 60 stitches on ones.
Okay.
They're a little tight.
That fit me then.
Yes, but they're a little tight. You are not getting my Rhinebeck sweater socks. I will shove my feet into these.
Well, I'm just saying.
You might get other socks. These socks you are not getting. So these are a little tight.
Your little toesies are upset.
No, my little toesies are not the problem. It is getting it over my big fat heel.
Ah.
So I then have the DK ones that fit pretty well. These I think are 48 stitches, and I increased for the heel because I didn't want to have that issue again.
Mm-hmm.
And then I decrease for the cuff. Decrease for the cuff.
English is tough.
Sometimes, yes. And then, so this is the first 4 days of my self-striping advent calendar that my friend Tanya made me.
So pretty.
I know. And this is 64 stitches on 2.5s, which is not loose, but it's also not close fitting. Like
No.
it fits. It's
64.
64.
And the other 60.
Yeah. So then hold on.
Yeah.
Then I went and experimented again with days 5, 6, 7, and 9 because 8 was a other type of color, wasn't self-striping. And this is 64 stitches on ones, increasing to 68 for the heel. And these fit nicely.
Okay.
And they fit my cousin. So I'm going to make her a pair of socks.
Yeah, I like this fabric a whole lot better than this fabric.
Yeah.
What happened there? There's a button that just came out.
Yes, there was a button in my advent calendar.
Yeah.
So it was here on the table. Yeah, and this one's a little bulletproof.
Yeah.
That one's a little bulletproof. And it separates at the heel. The reason I knew it was so tight is because between these 2 heel stitches,
yes,
it separates because it's
being pulled
so much. Yeah. I don't know if you can see.
Well, I think
it's
going
laddering.
to 64,
yeah.
I mean to 68.
For the heel. 64 and then 68 for the heel.
Is a good choice.
Yeah.
But that's why you have to try knitting socks. Someone will come up to you and say, I've never knitted socks, what do I do? Well, the first thing is to follow the pattern exactly.
Yes.
And, I mean, gauge, knit a gauge swatch so you know what your gauge is. And then...
And if you have friends who have similar sized feet.
Try them on.
Well, and also maybe knit the size they knit. If you have similar sized feet. If they knit. Right, that's what I meant.
So if you have friends.
No, if you have friends who knit socks who are the same size foot as you. And Mom and I are about a half size, a quarter size? Between a quarter and a half size apart, my feet are bigger.
Yes.
Because I am a taller human, and I got my father's bone structure.
Yes.
So, yeah. But Lauren, my cousin, and I have about the same size feet.
Right.
So I ended up bringing over, when I went to drop off gifts to that, Niesling's birthday gifts, which was a month late, I brought these 2 and this pair. And she said this was too tight, which I suspected she would. And then she said, both of these are great. They both fit. And I was like, yes, but which one do you like better? And she was like, I like the fit of this one, but I like the colors of this one. And I was like,
you don't get both.
Those are not your socks. Those are my socks. I will be knitting you other socks out of these, which are more like the colors in the sock that she liked.
Oh, good.
So, my plan...
Why don't I try on those socks? Just
these?
Yes. Thank you.
And so, I have some leftover from Niesling's sweater. So I'm gonna knit...
I don't think I can get these socks on. They're so bulletproof.
They're quite bulletproof. It takes me a little bit. Yeah, exactly. I have to
plus I have to ooch them. At the moment.
I have to ooch them. It's a good, 2 to 5 minute process to get these socks on.
Yeah.
So my plan is to knit Rye Light socks from Tin Can Knits for Niesling out of this, with toes, heels, and cuffs out of this. And then to do the same, but do the vanilla reversed in this, because this is a self-striping for my cousin, so that mom and kiddo will have matching socks.
Oh, they'll be thrilled. I
thought it was really cute, and my cousin didn't realize that I only wear hand knit socks now. So it was really funny because I went over and she was like, "Wait, are those hand knit?" And I was like, "Yes." Yes. And she goes, "Oh." So.
And they're warm.
They're very warm, and I don't know. I think she'd appreciate them.
The real benefit of hand knit socks is that they're warm.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we talked about this before, but for years, decades, I said, why knit socks? You always buy wool socks. Until I tried my first sock on, and then it was like...
Didn't want to take it off.
No, it was like having your own heater. So if anybody ever wonders why you knit hand knit socks, they're wonderful.
Yeah.
In terms of being warm.
Yeah. And I have come to like the fingering weight socks. So I found for the self-striping, I think I'm going to keep just going with the vanilla reversed, or the reverse vanilla. It's down below. Because I like how the self-striping knits up in it across the heel. So if you want to do, so with these, you can see since I had a ball of DK, I wasn't sure how much I'd get out of it. So I did do the bottom of the heel in a coordinating color, and the toes are not in a coordinating color, but the cuffs are. So I did heels and cuffs on this pair.
Did you have any left over?
I don't remember. I might have some left over, but I think it's sometimes better to have leftover than to worry about it.
Of course. You'll give yourself a headache.
Yeah, so I think I'm going to do that for my cousin's socks. Also because in case she tells me that they're wearing out on the bottom, I can replace that more easily. Because you can just, well, I probably would actually take out the leg and reknit it, but that's just me. Because I don't think you can really Kitchener it at the base. But we do have that new fancy dancy darning tool.
Works okay. You know, it's not as...
Oh, which is good, because I have 2 pairs of socks that I have found holes in that I would like to darn.
All right.
One while I was wearing them this week.
Oh, well,
so good. That was fun. Yes, all of a sudden I was like, why is my heel cold? Oh, because it's on the tile floor.
That's a clue.
Yeah.
Right there.
Right.
That's a clue.
It is. Yeah. But sometimes you just don't notice because your feet are already real cold.
So, yes.
So I thought that was very interesting.
That unless the hole is large, I found that my own darning works better than that frame.
Okay. Well,
just saying.
I'm just saying that the darning that I'm going to need some help with is quite large.
Okay.
On one of them. On the other one, it's not.
Are they DK?
Yeah.
Then it might work. I find that with my fingering weight socks, I'd almost need like a knit comb to hold as many strands as I would like to have to make it equitable with the rest of the foot or the rest of the knitting. with DK, the strands are further apart. So I think that the frame would work better. I think that was my main complaint, is that working with fingering weight, I thought it left a very loose patch. And I understand weaving enough that I can basically, with my own needle and yarn, make a warp and then do the weft myself. And, I make sure that I go outside with a hole. So I've anchored it where it's not going to just pull right out. I mean, you have to go pretty far outside the hole limits to make sure it's going to be comfortably set. And of course, then the other alternative is to do another afterthought heel.
These are Skew socks.
Ah, well, that makes it fun.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so that you can darn. And I've darned a fair number of pairs of socks. As I've said, I use them as slippers. Although I'm now wearing slippers because my slippers have tread. So my slippers actually have tread. And so I feel safer going around the house in tread than just with plain, plain socks. But as the knee gets stronger, I'm sure I'll revert back to doing bare socks. And so I end up getting holes on the bottom of my heels, not the back. So it's not wearing it against a shoe, it's wearing on the floor.
Yeah, that's where these are.
I do repair socks on the bottom of the heel.
Yeah, one of my pairs it's on the bottom, and one of them it's on the back, which is interesting. So yes, I don't think I have. So I tried to work on my serigraphy sweater. I don't think I got much further than I was last week because I started working on it on Wednesday. And I had to rip back 4 times.
Oh, no.
In the same row.
Oh, no.
And so I said, no, you get put in timeout. That could have been because I had a decently bad migraine due to the snowstorm, the nor'easter that came through the northeast coast this week, Wednesday and Thursday. But I said, no, you get put in timeout.
It happens.
It does. It does.
And I understand.
So I ended up, I worked on the socks a bit, and I finished those.
But at least you were working from home.
Yes, thank goodness I was working. I mean, I would have said I was working.
You didn't have to go in and walk the project on Thursday, did you?
No, we decided that was not a good plan.
No, because we
had snow in this
area. It's snow in the building, that's sad. But we had ice at the bottom, or mush at the bottom. Then we had snow.
Then we had
ice on top. So that
we had more snow and then another layer of ice.
So in the backyard, the grass was holding me up. I didn't punch through the grass in the backyard. In the front yard, the top layer of snow. So there was slush, snow, slush, ice, snow, ice, and snow. There was about 1/2 inch of top snow. That in the front yard was still there, so I didn't fall through that. I brushed that aside. But in the backyard, that had all been blown away, and what was left was the top layer of ice, and it was holding me up. So that was very strong grass. Very strong grass. So we went out Thursday at lunchtime, after lunch, and it took us 2 hours. I hand shoveled a path from the backyard, or from the office former door, down, actually I walked across to the back of my car, and I shoveled a lane down there, because Richard was still going, I'm not shoveling. So I shoveled one wheel path down to the street, and then I came back up, and I shoveled over to the front porch, so that our letter carrier would be fine, because let's face it is nice to get mail when we're in the middle of a pandemic and you're really not seeing people.
Christmas
we're seeing
cards
people
are lovely
via Zoom and other things, and this. But Christmas cards are great to have, and I really want to have them come. And then there are all the other third-party 3PL, third-party UPS, third-party transporters.
Okay.
There's another word that bring gifts.
Third-party delivery agents?
No. If I heard it, I'd know it.
Okay.
Anyway, they are UPS, they're FedEx, all those people. And we're still expecting at least 2 more things to arrive here.
Oh.
So I want to make sure that they can come.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. As well as the Christmas cards. I mean, with social media, I'm finding you don't get as many Christmas cards as you once did, one once did. I used to buy 175 to 200 Christmas cards to send out. Mm-hmm. And we would get about that much back.
I remember the year we moved. Because I was in charge of writing the "We've moved" to stick into the the card.
And now we get cards, but we're not getting a plethora. And, it would be nice to get cards. I'm still sending them out. But I only bought 130, and I have 30 left over. I don't have an office to send to. The people that I have home addresses for from the office, I am sending those.
Okay.
But I didn't, there were 40-some people at the School of Business, and I'm not sending those.
You're not sticking them in their mailboxes before
No, I'm not.
The end of finals.
Not there. So, anyway, what else?
So, I've been working on, would you help me hold this up?
I would love to help you.
So, I'm working on my Jigshawl.
I like it.
And this is section 17 out of 22. So...
That is so cute.
It's super warm. I've been using it as a blanket as I've been working on it.
Well, it's held double.
No, it's not. It's only held double for the darker. So it's supposed to be held double. I'm not knitting it held double. Okay. So the darker colors, so this brown, there's a green that I held double with. There's a green right here that was dark, and then this pink was quite bright. And I softened those with a
mohair,
a silver kind of shirt. It's a Surrey alpaca by Ocean Rose, or Ocean by the Sea yarns by Ocean Rose. And she, it's a beautiful color. I can't remember the color name right now, but it's this beautiful, just light gray, like very, very light gray, like a wisp of gray on it.
Okay.
And it's beautiful, and it's so soft. It's so soft to work with. So I have, as I said, I'm on section 17, so then I will have 5 more sections to go. And I think I might get this done, or at least without the border maybe, but I might get it done by Christmas or on Christmas.
Cool.
I would like to get the sweater done, but if...
The one that was in timeout?
Yeah, but if that's just not working, then it's just not working. So...
Bad sweater.
Yeah. So, and I mean, Christmas is only 5 days away, so...
Right.
But, yeah.
Well, and sometimes you just can't concentrate.
Correct. And I'm hoping, I don't know, I've got a lot of socks in my future, I've noticed. I think it's because my feet are so cold.
Well, it's a cold house here.
No, even at my apartment, my feet are so cold. Like, right now, my feet are okay. I don't know. I think I'm just, like, it might be hereditary.
It could be. Carol had ray nodes.
Yeah. And so... The last 2 weeks, my feet have been very cold.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, so that sucks. So I've definitely been knitting more socks, I think, because somehow I think that will help. By knitting the socks, my feet will be warmer. Not that I'm not already wearing hand-knit socks. So I do have the...
Slippers, too?
No, I don't have slippers. Don't have slippers.
Well, maybe you want to try these and see if they help keep your feet warmer. They're LL Bean.
Maybe. But I have yarn set aside for the Spark Socks by Andrea Mowry, which is a fingering weight sock that she did for a Thanksgiving knit along. And then I also have this Lola Bean yarn from last year's Rhinebeck that is set aside for a set of Wanderer slippers, which are just DK weight slippers, color work.
Mm-hmm.
So I might start working on those, or I might just bring those with me when I go down south. So we will be recording, I guess, on Christmas.
I guess so.
And then we won't record.
Back?
I'm back the Sunday after New Year's.
Okay.
So it won't be until the second week of, because I'm going to have to get tested anyways.
Right.
Before I come back. So we will have a week and a half, we'll have 2 weeks off, I think, is what it comes out to be, right? Or is it just a week?
I'm confused.
Let us look at a calendar. Okay, so yeah, it'll be just a week that we'll have off, but I'm just letting you know that now, because I will be out of town. I am taking all precautions. I am going to be getting tested Monday or Tuesday, depending on where the testing sites are announced for next week. And I will then also be getting tested before I come back, and then again once I'm back. So again, taking all precautions, mask wearing, hand sanitizer. Dad brought me a whole thing of wipes.
Did he?
That's what he gave me last week.
I didn't notice.
Yeah, it's a whole thing of wipes. I think from the boat.
Oh yes, from the boat.
Yes.
Okay.
You
had carried with you in the car.
Yes.
Okay.
So I figure I will.
You'll be very safe.
I'll be very safe. I'm gonna pack a ton of snacks. And we've got a plan.
We do have a plan. And
the people I am going to go see are also going to go get tested. So we are being as cautious as we can be. And I'm also and they've also been quarantining prior to me coming, and I've been only here. So
you're fine.
Yeah, and they haven't had any contact either. So we've been staying within our own bubbles, so that is how we are attacking that. I just wanted to be transparent about that I understand people staying home. I respect people staying home, and I would if it wasn't absolutely crucial for my mental health to go and take this trip.
She's going to see her significant other who she hasn't seen since last January. So yes. It's important.
We've decided that this is worth that the possible risk is worth the mental health bump of being able to see each other.
Yes.
So I guess do you want to talk about what you're working on your lap? Okay. Yes.
Now that we've meandered on,
you were working on stuff, so I was meandering while I was waiting.
Oh dear, I seem to have wrapped. We've wrapped the yarn around the sweater umpty times. So I have finished this sleeve, and this one I'm lacking about 9 rows, and it will be finished.
All right.
So I started this sleeve this morning.
Okay.
I picked it up at about here.
Not bad. You got about 7 inches.
And I will finish this tonight. I didn't want to start it last night because it was late and I didn't want to make a mistake. So I'll finish the sleeve, and then this will be put in timeout as I go and work on my mother's canna cross stitch. And yes, she is not getting it for Christmas. She will definitely be getting it for her birthday, which is in January. But I will send it as soon as I'm finished. But let me show you how far I have gotten. And I wasn't working on it late last night because it's tiny.
Yeah.
And it got to the point where I couldn't see it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, where'd it go? Oh, tell me I grabbed the bag but not the cross stitch. Okay, we won't mention that. Really? Well, you can talk.
And my cousin actually got me for Christmas, because she was on top of her stuff and had Christmas ready. She got me a great tote bag that says "See the World" and a notebook.
Oh, that's nice. I believe it's downstairs.
Yeah. So I'm going to probably fill this with I'm going to fill it with the projects for her, probably, and the 2 sock projects that I talked to you about, because those I think will be definitely things I want to make sure are on my list of things. I also have plans to make my nieceling a sweater for Christmas, and I owe sweaters to at least 2 other nuggets.
Yes.
Because I have been delinquent in my nugget knitting.
So, newsflash, I left the counter cross stitch downstairs. I brought the bag up, but apparently the cross stitch itself is downstairs.
Oh.
I've done some cleaning up, and that's a problem.
Would you like me to go downstairs and get it?
No, we'll show it the next time.
Okay.
Which is next week. It's Christmas. So, by that time I'll save it. I won't mail it out.
Yeah.
So anyway, I got this in the mail.
You did.
I did. So, I think it makes me look like I'm going to wear a burqa, but anyway.
I think it's très chic.
I think it is too. This is bamboo and silk. And I think it's going to be great, especially for the winter.
Mm-hmm.
It's chiffon-ish, so it's very light. It's cloth, and it's antibacterial and antifungal. And
it has 4 layers of the bamboo silk, and then a filter fabric layer
inside, and it's been tested. It's from Italy.
Italy or Berlin?
No, Italy. It was made in Italy.
Oh, okay.
And it comes with all kinds of testing information. They have tested it. And I just said, for the winter, this is going to be good. I have found that it's actually very comfortable. And it doesn't seem to get sopping wet like some of the other fabric ones. I'm not quite sure why, but it doesn't. I guess, I really don't know why. But I'm excited about it. I think it's a nice combination scarf and mask. At our book club on Thursday, our minister mentioned that it looked like we were going to be having restrictions on church until September.
That's what the bishop is saying.
That's what the bishop is saying. So, I don't know. She said we could maybe sing with masks on. So I was thinking maybe something like this, when it's so light, might be. I'll have to try singing with it. But it's very, very light. And it's light on my ears. It seems to be quite comfortable. So, what?
Just talk.
Talk? I can talk like crazy. I can sing.
I don't feel any air coming from her face. Like when you put your hand in front of your mouth, you feel air. I don't feel any air.
We've been watching Sound of Music. I knew you were. We've been watching Sound of Music. I could sing some Sound of Music if you'd like.
You could.
Yes, I could, but we won't. So
just because you keep saying it's so light, it's so light.
It's
so I figured...
very light. Now, we have been watching the Washington National Cathedral and their singers. And I'm very excited about watching some of their services during the week. They're on YouTube if you wanted to watch them. Because we really do like their singers. I did not see their gospel service this week. But it is on YouTube, so I will probably see that. And they are singing through their masks.
Yes.
They started wearing masks, I guess, about 3 weeks ago.
Around Thanksgiving.
And now even the organist is wearing a mask. They had not been wearing masks. They had been very far apart.
They're still far apart.
They're still far apart. They've just added the masks. And I don't know whether someone had gotten sick or they just wanted that extra level of protection. But, so they're singing through masks. I can see where we could sing through masks. It looks like Richard and I may be on a schedule someplace to get a shot vaccines in March, it looks like. Maybe earlier, but certainly I think by March from what
You are phase 1C.
Yes. So whenever phase 1C
Because you are old, but you are not oldest.
Right. And we're not dilapidated.
No, it's still just mostly the old. Yes. Right.
So my mother, however,
she's in 1B.
1B. So hopefully we can, and she will get the shot. I mean,
she will get the vaccine.
She will get the vaccine. So, we're moving ahead. And I just thought that would be easy to sing through. So far, so good.
And also be quite fashionable.
Quite fashionable, yes. So I've got my sweater that I'm going to finish. And I've got my counter cross stitch. And I got my mother's gloves. And I noticed with my gloves, which are in my coat downstairs, that I didn't leave enough palm room before my thumb starts on my multicolored gloves. So I'm going to work at making this thumb bit a little bit longer before I separate on her gloves. So that's the plan there. But because she has an alternative Christmas present that's going to be given en masse, we're doing together to give her a present. There's not the panic to try to get these handmade things done. She'll have them for her birthday, most assuredly. The counted cross stitch is, the top half is entirely done.
Yeah.
And there's a good bit of the bottom half. So I will, when I finish this sleeve, I'm going back to the counted cross stitch.
That moment when you get pen on your finger and then you remember that it's also that you also have a freckle right there.
So are you working on anything else?
No, those are the major things I'm working on. I am continually looking at things and going, "Oh, you're pretty. I want to start you." I am gonna try and get a bunch of gnomes done, so I can gift those.
I'm gonna get these 3 things. So her counted cross stitch, her mittens, and this sweater. And then, rather than start the artichoke French, I thought I would pick one of these bags under here that actually has a started project.
That's a good plan.
And
decide if you're gonna do it or frog it.
Yes, there is one here. Yes.
Oh yes. That was a gift.
Going to be a gift. However, this is a 24 stitch cable. And I can tell you that it hurts.
Yeah.
To do it. So I think this is going to be frogged.
That's really good yarn, too.
Yes.
Yeah, that's trifecta.
Yeah. So I think that I can do some really fun things with this. In fact, I think I'll sit here right now and start frogging it. I think you should. Because there's no way I'm making this now. So that'll be with one of these. And then I will start working on another one down here. And maybe I'll work on my coat. I'll embroider the coat and get that done.
Ooh.
That would be nice. So I continue along with doing this. Do you want that Target bag back?
Sure.
Oh,
I mean, you can give that to me. Like, I can use it to transport things.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. So Advent is continuing.
Yes.
So I have my indie one here. So for day 14 is by Why Not Fibers. This beautiful burnt orange fall color. Then day 15 is Northern Bee. And this is Siren on yak sock, and I'm in love, and I just love the yak socks. Like, I love
They're great.
yak sock yarn.
Color.
It's depending on the dyer or on where the dyer gets the yarn from, it's either a 60-20-20 or a 60-20-30 or a 70-20-10. And by that I mean the percent merino, percent yak, percent nylon. So this is a 70-20-10, and it's just beautiful. It's this magenta to like a green to a blue gray, and it's really quite beautiful. And then we have Created for You by Laura for day 16.
Pretty.
Yeah, day 17 is Chaos Fiber Co.
Really nice.
Yeah. Day 18 was a cuticle intensive and a button from Lolo Body Care.
Nice.
Which is really nice. I'm trying to figure out if the slight scent of the cuticle care bugs me or not. But I really like it because it is super hydrating for my cuticles.
Okay.
And then the last one, day 19 is by Yarn Over New York, and it is her color Electro Pop, which is just a beautiful purple.
That is gorgeous.
And then day 20 is here. It's by Mod Yarns. It's Lil in the middle, and it's this beautiful, like, thick, thin chartreuse. So that'll be fun. And I also brought and I will bring my plan is to bring the vegan yarns next week, as well as the
because you're gonna want projects.
Well, I'm definitely bringing the self-striping for project reasons, and I'll bring the vegan yarns for show and tell reasons, because I'm definitely gonna want to keep these in order so that I know what order the socks are in, so that they at least coordinate. But for Miss Babs, hold on, I didn't lay these out prior. I just need to do that. But we have finally gotten into, here we go. So we go from 14, 15, 16.
Very pretty.
And then from 16 we go to 17, 18, and 19. If I can pull 19 out. 19. And then from there we go to 20, which is another deep purple.
Gorgeous.
Just
gorgeous.
Yeah. I still don't know what this is going to grow up to be, because the beginning is so green heavy. So it might end up being a sweater. I'm thinking actually about, there's a Hohi Locatelli sweater from Interpretations, that has like a square with stripes. It's boxy, but it has stripes, and it could be really cute. So I'm debating it, but I think I want to see what the whole progression is first, and then figure out if maybe I do something like the blues and greens as the main color, and then the little stripes as the purples, or what. So yeah, those are my advents. I tried to keep up with the self-striping, but as you can see, I've only got through day 9 knit. This is day 10, and I'm still trying to decide if I'm going to knit knee-highs out of these, because I know I talked about it last week, I talked about it the week before. I really like the idea of it, but I'm not sure I like the execution of knitting knee-highs. Because I'm a long human.
Yes.
So that could get frustrating real fast. Because I think I'd actually like to make them like slightly over the knee. So we'll see. Obviously I need to get past the toe and heel before I, can really make that decision. Because either way I will use the same amount of yarn up until that point.
Well, this is a combination of Nerd Girl and
Vintage DK, yes.
Yes.
So that is where I'm at.
I could talk about my advent calendar.
I was about to ask you about it.
Okay.
How is your advent going, Mom?
Well, I have these for this week.
they go with some of last week, too.
Yes, I have to say they're coordinating with each other quite well.
I like the spec.
Hold on.
This is very you, Mom.
That's very me. And I got another...
Stitch marker?
Stitch marker. Candy cane.
The candy cane.
Yes. That needs to go in the box over there. And this is really pretty.
I like, if you were to do socks or something, I like using these three together.
Yeah.
In a pair of socks.
Or, you know, baby's cardigan.
Yeah.
It's this color that is not my color.
No,
but as a heel or a toe.
Or using
and these are gorgeous.
Or you could use that for a baby sweater. Like, these 3 would be really lovely as a fall baby sweater.
Yeah, except I like this.
No, I'm just saying, you can use, you know.
Yes. So,
this
week, this was the only one that was giving me problems.
Yes.
The rest of it,
I'm just trying to... I'm just trying to show others that if you don't like things that are coming out of your advent calendars, you probably have somewhere else you can use them. Heels and toes. Waist yarn. I don't want to say that because obviously
I wouldn't want to use it for waist yarn,
but you can use it also for color work for a baby sweater.
Color work, I think it would be fine.
Yeah, you could use it for a color work motif.
Chocolate brown with that, I think it would be pretty. Or there's a number of colors that this would be pretty with.
Or the burgundy or the green.
And it's got little pops of green in it. So it's not a solid color.
It's a very rustic yarn.
Yes. Soft but rustic.
Yes.
So it's really very, very nice. So that is my advent calendar. I'm so glad we talked about this blanket.
I am
too. Because it is not going to be made, that's for sure. I'm going to frog it probably tomorrow. I did clean up more of my study. Did you notice?
I did.
Before we brought everything out.
Yes, I did.
So I continue to clean. I will probably shrink wrap more of these yarns.
And you've done more of your socks.
I have. I now have both socks up to 60 stitches. And they're on 2 needles because I'm doing 2 at a time. And
so you use one on one side and one on the other?
Yes.
Nice.
But
instead of magic looping, it's 2 long circulars.
Yes, because I find it's easier to keep my yarn apart if I've got 2 separate needles.
Okay.
So that I've got one side going this way, and I make sure that I manually separate the socks so that I'm not carrying the yarn in between. I'm also not getting ladders in the socks where there's the crimp, because with the 2 socks, I mean, I have done 2 socks at a time using one very long needle. I didn't like the way it was looking this time. So I started with one long needle and I thought, no, and I went and found another needle. I have plenty of needles. That's why many of these projects have languished below the desk, because I didn't need the needles that were in them.
You also have very little qualms about going and buying another
set.
Not even just a set, but just another singleton. You know, you're like, hey, let me grab some Leikeys in that size. Let me grab some Indian River in those
because I
size.
find that I enjoy trying out different needles. The Indian River are ceramic, so they've got a different feel than the metal.
Yeah.
I do like the Leike needles because they're wooden. I like the what were the original multicolored needles? You have purple. Dyak needles. They're really nice.
The darn pretties.
Darn pretty needles. I have managed to break 2 of them. And not small ones. So I guess I should just use them with impunity and break them as I go. And that'll be fine.
There's no reason to...
Right, there's no reason to hold them in abeyance. The way I knit, I do tend to unscrew the needle from the wire.
I tend to do that too, but it's always random when I do it. Like, it's not consistently every project.
No, it's not consistently every project with me either.
And it's also not consistently like, oh, well, I didn't tighten this one down this specific way, and I did then twist it down that way, and it still untwists itself. Oh, you didn't show today's. Oh, I like today's.
I like today's too. So we're now verging into purple, which is one of my loves. So that should be great. What were we talking about?
But we were talking about needles.
Yes. And so I like trying
them.
the different needles.
Yeah.
I do find that
I
think it's a matter of how tight I've screwed them, because if I get the pieces of, not sponge, but rubber matting out and really crank down on them, that they tend to stay. What I have also broken is I've broken the cord out of the holder.
Yeah.
And there is no recovery from that. They're just broken.
Yeah.
So I've done that. It tends to happen with the smaller circumference needles, because then I've bent the cord. So cords are an issue. I find that I have the square needles with the very soft cords, and I haven't broken any of those cords. What are the red ones?
These are Chow-Goos.
Chow-Goos. The Chow-Goo cord I've not managed to break.
No, and even, because I think even when so these aren't interchangeables, these are standard,
but these,
those are interchangeables,
This is an interchangeable, so it's this black cord, and where it meets the metal.
So I think because the Chow-Goos, even when they have the spinny cord, the actual innard is different.
It has a metal core through it, I believe.
Yeah, these do. But what I'm saying is to get, to like hold in there, I think it's a different connector when it's,
fastener.
A fastener when it's the interchangeables. These are not, as I said, these are, size 1s.
So I've gone back to quite often buying single size circular needles.
Yeah. I was just thinking that I might see if I can get, when I go down south, I might go to a yarn shop while I'm down there and get size 1 carbons, because my wrist has been hurting me a lot recently.
I find that carbons do give to some extent, so that I get less hand tired using carbons.
So, and my wrist has been hurting me recently. I do have a ganglion cyst, which you can't
popped up
see.
again?
Yeah, it's popped. There, you can see it. So it could be that. It could be the way I hold my needles. It could be the difference of working with very tiny metal needles versus wooden or the carbons. So I might see if the boyfriend will go with me and stop to see if we can grab a pair of needles.
And I like the carbons in the very tiny sizes, because I tend to snap the wooden ones.
Yeah, you do.
I mean, my socks right now are on wooden ones because they're what I grabbed out of the needle holder. But I use them even though I know that I'm likely to snap them. Obviously, there's tremendous pressure going into the socks or whatever it is that I'm working on, and the needles are taking a beating. So
I think it's also because when we knit socks, we want them to have quite a tight gauge.
I'm not even sure that I'm thinking about that.
No, I think it's unconscious, because now I'm feeling right now, I just picked up the Jigshawl again. I am much looser knitting on this Jigshawl than I was knitting on those socks.
Really?
Yes. So that could be an unconscious kind of...
an unholy mess here.
You do. You do. I think you get Dad involved, because he will love helping.
No, I'm fine. I enjoy fixing my yarn too.
I do too.
So,
he just ends up always coming and helping when I do it.
He loves to help.
He does.
Quite the helper.
He is.
So anyway,
but yeah,
I'll find the beginning. Look at this.
But
we found the beginning.
I think we have faffed about enough.
We have. We have several projects. Next time I will show you the counter cross stitch, and then I can mail it off to my mother, because I think it will be done by then. Her gloves will be the next big project I start on, with perhaps a bit of a timeout to work on my own black and white sweater. I can tell you that I do enjoy single focus or maybe twin focus, so that when one project looks like it's getting my eyes tired, I can switch off that into something else.
Having had the sweater pull the BS that it pulled earlier this week, it's
nice to have another project.
And with the snowstorm and it affecting my head in the way it has, I have really been thankful that I re-picked up this Jigshawl. As I said, I'm actually getting it done, which is really awesome.
Well, we had said last year we wanted to make some project through the whips.
Yeah, well, and this wasn't a whip until May anyways. So I am glad that I was able to pick it back up and that it has been so easy. It's all garter. It's just depending on, increases, decreases, picking up as you go, things like that. But I'm finding it really nice to have that as a bit of a difference because I think I mentioned it 2 weeks ago, or not, maybe it was last week I mentioned that, it took me a while to get through the toe of a sock because I just couldn't do that. So I think it's good sometimes to have different types of projects, and I think we've talked about that previously.
Yes. I'm not good anymore with having multiple knitting projects to work on, although socks are really dead easy because I'm really not following a pattern. I'm doing my own umbrella toe type of thing. And then, getting up to 60 stitches. I must not knit quite as tight as you do.
No, it doesn't look like you do.
So.
No. That fabric is much more
giving.
I mean, that fabric is probably if I did like a 2 or a 1.5.
I think a 1.5 might suit you.
I'm just saying, because I'm already good with the 64 on
now that you've figured out what you're going to do, that's fine, but I
can still
so
try
I
1.5
have those because they're really easy, and I can do that when we're in a meeting or something like that. The Skew socks, which I've also restarted again, that is going to be where I can focus totally on
the socks and nothing else,
because it's the directions. I make up my own directions when I was working on those Skew socks. And my directions don't fit at all what the Skew sock needs to be. And I probably need to work on it when you're here in the house so that I can ask you what am I supposed to be doing here?
Well, maybe in January we'll do Skew socks together. And I'll do DK. I'll do DK ones and you can do regular ones. Because I really like how they fit in DK in my...
They fit incredibly well. And it's the most interesting pattern.
Yeah.
Looking at it from the outside because it's flat. And yet it comes together. It doesn't look like it should come together, but it does come together. So that's really fantastic. And it's a great fitting sock.
Yeah.
It's just different.
It is.
And it's the pattern I don't believe is intuitive at all.
I don't think so.
So I think I ran into problems before, and it may have been because I was watching television as I was knitting it, but I can knit most things while I'm watching television.
It might be because you were watching, like, exciting TV, or TV you really had to pay attention to.
Maybe.
And it wasn't, like, Great British Bake Off or Repair Shop or something.
Maybe. What else? Oh, I can tell you that I have the few things that are ordered and need to come in may have been held up by the weather. I know that I got a note from one of the companies saying, due to the snowstorm, that some of their deliveries will be delayed. And one thing I ordered is coming from France. France, yes. We're getting very fancy. It's from France. And that may have been delayed.
Oh, I see.
Yes. So, if I bring this up because if you're waiting for something to come in, the weather that we've been having, if you're in the Northeast, may have delayed some of the transport.
And also, especially if it's USPS, they've gotten hundreds of thousands of packages times the amount that they've gotten in the past due to the pandemic.
Well, because not as many people are traveling,
right.
so they're sending the presents.
But there's still only so many hours in the day that the postal workers can work to deliver packages. There's a post that's going around the internet that's going viral that's about how this postal worker has been a postal worker for 25 years, usually has about 50 to 70 packages a day. Mm-hmm. Has upwards of 200 a day. Mm-hmm. And there's only, and some days you can't get all 200 delivered. There just aren't enough hours in the day.
So, I'll tell you something funny. My mother went down to the post office one day, maybe it was last Monday, to send my Christmas card, and in it there was a check. So she called me, or I called her that afternoon. I guess I called her that afternoon to say, you should plan on not going out in the snowstorm, yada, yada. She says, yes, I think I'm going to cancel my dental appointment. I said, that's a plan. I mean, she's going for a checkup. It didn't have to be done that very day. So, and she said, did you get my card? I said, no. When did you mail it? This morning. I was there at 7 a.m. I said, no mail gets that fast, Mom. It'll be at least a day or two, not to worry. So then she called
you 2 days later?
Yes. Still didn't have it. It didn't come until Friday. One day we didn't get any mail delivery 2 days we didn't get any mail delivery
Wednesday
at all.
And Thursday, I bet.
Right. Wednesday and Thursday. And she's saying, I think you should call the post office. I said, why? They have enough going on without me haranguing them. And I can look out the window and see why there might be problems. Mm-hmm. We just shoveled 7 inches of it. She says, well, I like getting my mail.
So do the rest of us, Grandma.
Like getting my mail, but I don't need to harass anybody. So things may be delayed because of the weather. In the Northern Hemisphere, it is winter, and the weather is getting nasty.
I have 2 packages of things that I ordered Cyber Monday, something like that. Maybe it was the Black Friday weekend and Cyber Monday, and they still haven't arrived. They were shipped. The tracking hasn't updated in a week. But as another post that's going around the internet, give it up to God. Don't do it. Just don't check that. Don't check that tracking. Just don't check that tracking. Because then you'll just be pleasantly surprised when it shows up. So hopefully they will show up soon. I have had, you all know, I had yarn that got delayed in the mail in August, September. So we've already been through this, so I know it can show up within, the next month. And it probably will. So.
And the other package I had is coming from Apple, and they're shipping it from Hong Kong. Hong Kong, yes. And it showed moving through China, it showed leaving Hong Kong, and then it showed nothing for 5 days. And I'm going, oh no. Today, I didn't check yesterday, but today I checked, and suddenly it had updated.
Oh, good.
And said that not only had it been through customs, but it had hit Louisville, Kentucky, which...
Very nice.
I'm not sure who's there, but someone's there, and it's going to move on from there. So it's really very nice. So it may not be lost, it just may be delayed.
Yeah. So just keep that in mind. If you did order from some small companies, they're probably tracking it just as, obsessively, because they want to make sure you all are getting your packages.
Yes.
But also, they can't control the mail service.
They really can't.
And the mail service also can't control the fact that we've sent a lot of things this year.
And the weather. I mean, you can't get through when it's snowing, icing. It's just... Yeah. It's not worth their lives.
No. So that's just a reminder to be kind humans and to extend that grace to others.
If you can take a deep breath, I know we'd like to have things on time or when they said they would send it. But as long as it's not lost, you can be fine.
So
see, I have less of a mess now.
You do have less of a mess now.
I'm thinking this could be. I have enough for 2 sweaters, I think.
Wow.
So this will be lovely.
Yeah. Well, I think now it's really time to sign off. I've got ends to weave in that probably won't get woven in just yet. But we will talk to you all later in the week.
Christmas!
Bye, y'all.